on Ashanti Prime TV. It's a program that is going to bring a lot of spiritual refreshment. It's going to be a blessing unto your life. It's called Prayer Line Connect. It's going to be happening on Mondays, 11 p.m., Wednesdays, 11 p.m., and on Fridays at 11 a.m. It's going to be a time of refreshment in the spirit, a time where the Lord will minister to us by the word, by prayer, and by the prophetic that will bring deliverance to our lives in a lot of ways. I want to specially invite somebody to join and connect on Prayer Line Connect live on Ashanti Prime TV every Monday, Wednesday 11 p.m. and on Fridays 11 a.m. and your life will never be the same. I am praying for you. God will meet you at the point of your need. See you on PLC. God bless you.
Abusha me mawache ema wakwaba eba Ashanti Prime TV. Jumedi ayatu ni din anopatutu to so. Abusha a morning show.
Additional mama wako baba Ashanti Prime TV so anwere no so Kasiebo ne braso a gift ya bag na mo for magic brad ya kunwa me kenkan mu nsem a samufo so ne so kroje ya anwere me dey so mo Ashanti Prime TV anwere no so Kasiebo so na wakasiebo imu no ensem ni bi a wobete minority leader wodi dom kuma nanim wo mrahye bi fie edi nsem atoja wo chiremu se galamse ho nsem a yabo ho dewra ene yemfanya nsem no emofra ye wo mo ani befra emofra no eho ba beba nsem bebreba a doctor for kra bedwene ho a wo monte ase sa enso so na Ghana mampani abone ho modern akopie mo Central Regional walanchi dwumadi kese amakromafo brene so a emu ntremu na nkasa na me de besom mo mitwa me ho na mabasisi na me de kase ne mu ensem no asomo. MPP for delegate a womo e working tampo bromantamu din sema tudwa won mo kire se womo de abasobo kese e kwa ma Dr. Alhaj Muhammadu Baumi a wopre abeye frankatufo ama eye MPP wasrama yokoni nyankopon ya 2028 no omo kire mu a womo dom support nyina e ma no na womo bebe womo homojina sede beye a eye Alhaj Muhammadu Baumi abetumi aba abeye frankatufo e wo eye MPP wasrama yokoni mu ama Ghana
24 answer na yebeko general election the year 2 our Kentampo South Dr. Nya 77%. Mumbe mo yese maya ho sa 77% no afiwei yeah man say ya do masipa entina edru Dr. Mahmoud Baumia so mosi yansesa no adenti abusuafo mu ni nyina nya adwene na ya nyina yanko benklom na Kentampo South yanto ni boom amfama Dr. Mahmoud Baumia na onko ni prenu so na onko gitumi amfama MPP
ya huse papa yi yenkurase ana nkura nketo nyina oda na bam ndi mesre delegates say papa yi ontwantro okanokre ndi mum ye nyina yento aba yemfama nipa a otisei na omedi anim na daachi Ghana abesesa na yen
Efutu MC yanidi ene eye atamensa oye MP ene afe Alexander wono so eye efutu for penny for MC ene wo momra sebedwani ewo ho de sem atodwa wo mo ehyrese eye de odo ene kroye betra eye efutu kromu ho no na boa ama omani mpuntu nyuma koso e ma ye nye we ye party na no oman no asumdwe ne ni mpuntu nyuma ense ye ho modernise be kan ye ho abom yama odo ene kroye ayejuma ne no na boa ma oman no atumpon.
This is a call. I came purposely just to tell the story. Irrespective of our political differences, we can do it with key stakeholders. Looking at Winneba, one of the key stakeholders is the MP. When you look at the core composition of the Municipal Assembly, the MP is part of the Municipal Assembly. Therefore, I came just to grace this occasion or honor his invitation. In other words, just to send a signal to everybody that indeed it is a collective responsibility. If we want development, it's a matter of all of us coming together to unite. If we want development, it's a matter of doing away with our political colors. Extreme partisan will do away with this. If we want development, it's a matter of, yes, indeed, whatever you are being possessed, whatever God has given you, you blend with others to help lift the image of Efutu in high esteem.
So I thank him for coming. And I want to see, going forward, a collaboration between his office and the presiding member, as well as the various assembly members. there's a need for all of us to work together. And he's right in saying that we have a common destiny as a people. As for partisan politics, it's a platform.
ECG4 edi atudwa safi wo mo yere wo mutamu pa na wo babo homodene edi ne oma guakwam sede ebe ya afi 2025 eba ne ye kane adum so ho nsem wa ne oma akojojo na bo am man no nso so yasumu adweye won tontom ne wo so eho.
Eventually to come and affect you. You can't spend 9 billion buying cables. Some of the cables will last you 15 years. And yet when we took over and there were transformer overloads, MD came to me, he said, there are no transformers. I had to go into a warehouse and release 200 transformers. I had to grant him emergency approval even without a board to procure 100 transformers. Meanwhile, you had so much cables that you didn't know what to do with that. And like I said, never again. Your MD and the team, they've reviewed most of the contracts. Of the 347 contracts that they've reviewed, they've successfully, without cost and without legal implication, terminated 202 of those contracts. What it means is that you didn't need those over 200 contracts. And yet somebody decided that he will sign those contracts. Through your own effort, I'm seeing the revenues increase. And when I talk about revenue increase, it's not revenue increase.
Ora ni munyamfo a woda Ghana Water Company Limited ano anidi ene Adam Mutawakulu edinsem atudwa wo chiremu ese ensuo galamsey honsensem ese no no omode ni omegu akwam na mwaboa ahwe nsuo na treaty sede be ya yebenom na enkofa wo hawo bia emre nti nyoma dodo na agwakwam a omoweze yensuo mbetumi ate na ani aye kroji senipa nom a enkofa wo hawo bia emre.
In our catchment treatment plants, we have progressively shifted from a predominantly alum regime to carefully selected polymers. This shift is technical and unavoidable. Polymers perform more efficiently at today's stability profile than alum can, but it carries a financial consequences. For example, chemical costs at Berkasi, Odaso, and Konongo in the Ashanti region has increased by about 400%. Polymer costs more kilograms required to get that dosing control and quality assurance, and often involve relatively high foreign exchange exposure because most of these polymers are imported. We don't produce them locally. So when the foreign exchange fluctuates, it has significant effects as a result of the exchange rate. The mechanical and energy story is similar. Silt-laden water shortens service interval, increases spare parts consumption, shrinks standby margins, and add pressure to operating expenditure. Let me state this plainly. Ghana Water Limited is a tariff-regulated utility. We cannot immediately pass sudden costs that surges to consumers, nor do we wish to. Affordability matters, But the gap between regulated revenue and siltation-driven costs stretches the company beyond reasonable limits.
Emilia Atsa eye babawa anasemame fefefa wono na wo hwe yensuo enam a ewo obade e de adom yen wo nsuo mu no eso na wo kire se wo monam akwa hodo piso e de nemu egu akwama yen toto yesa de be ya ebeboa ma emu a ewo nsuo mu a odoma nkoma e de adom yen se ye nie no betumi adore na wo mase atere na boa ama oman no so yetumi anya bi e de eje ye nuane ahodo.
Of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, the Fisheries and Aquaculture Act 1146 recently promulgated, as well as the Marine Fisheries Plan for 2022 to 2026. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, our next steps are as follows. Following Cabinet approval, the Ministry and Commission will engage in the following activities towards the realization of the establishment of the MPA and working very closely with the TAC. We will map out and gazette the designation of the Greater K3 Points MPA. We will conduct interministerial engagement to build support for implementation. We will make a public declaration of the MPA. We will continue collaboration with participating communities, NGOs, and faith-based organizations to integrate local knowledge into the development and implementation of the management plan for the MPA. And we will continue to undertake public education and sensitization of the MPA. We will also develop enforcement and monitoring plans to prevent illegal activities. And we will identify and promote alternative livelihoods to support fishers who might be affected. The approval by Cabinet of Ghana's first marine protected area marks a major step toward building a sustainable blue economy, which aims to protect marine life and fishing communities in diverse ways. Collaboration among various stakeholders and the government is necessary for the effective implementation of this.
Munyam Fuaniti and Hidrusu Alhaj Edin Semwa to Womo bomb homodin Sebanica Simwa or more afam say Beya Mofra, Ewagana Fana baby abisia ya and Hotse, Croje, Nabwama, and so addition kai na boase wo man no yedachi eye mofra enti se mofra ne ye di mu no yensu ebedie.
Do an assessment and have a feel myself what parents are going through. I have observed that some parents are unhappy, justified. Some students are unhappy, justified, because he chose a particular course, science, and was given general arts or business. That would be a disincentive even for that child to study hard and go to class. So it means that the computerized placement system is not working well for the country, and I'm happy to review it, and I will review it. I'll put in place a committee to review its performance over the decade and then give me a credible alternative. What we need is meritorious admission. I mean, nobody would accept that you get aggregate 6, you can't get a score your first choice. What can explain that? It cannot be explained because that candidate has been pushed away by protocol. That's unfair. And we'll look into that, and we'll look very closely into that and see what we do. So my assessment here is
Mashe bedwani edima efutu for ye ora afenyo maken edia tudwa obi sansemfu adodo na ni nyina ekoma ye mampeni Ghana mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wo chiremu say no wo se oba be reset Ghana na ye hwe de galam say de ye nkofo ma wo Ghana krodua mu ha no e say ne be ka emofra into reset na Ghana mampeni His Excellency say war reset no obisa se enuni ana we en reset no ana se wobobo shempase a afen wo ba be yepie we ni nsem de na na wo bisa.
Even more disturbing, young Ghanaians expressing frustration on social media have been targeted, questioned, and in some cases detained. The question we ask as a minority is this the reset we were promised or an era of regression into intolerance? Mr. Speaker, the case of David Afo-Kojo-Pra, a young man known on social media as Kwame Nkrumah #2, highlights the disturbing double standards in how justice is applied. After a live stream on social media, he was swiftly arrested, prosecuted, and sentenced to 7 months in prison. Much as the law must be applied, we must ask, is the state equally swift when government-affiliated individuals commit similar or worse infractions? Not long before this incident, during the Akwetia by-election, the NDC National Vice Chairman, Azoka openly declared that there will be by-election in my constituency. That was a threat, plain and simple. Unlike in the case of Kwame Nkrumah II, the police have not taken action. Mr. Speaker, why is there no urgency on this matter? Why the speed in one case and silence in another? Justice must be seen to be done. Justice cannot be harsh on critics and lenient on those who are closer to power. The broader context deepens our concern.
Reverend John Intim for Georgia Tuja, Ebisa, a Ghana Penny, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will be say no. A Kamia yes, why ye dean a war LGBTQ plus a home. A day, Obisa said they see a son say, Time Munia Bemuno, we who did dinner in Nanado. Yadi to moon, why ye dean one cassa, Sebio, we a buy a may, or more air affected woman. We are who they die, Nane, Yamaya, Mamma, and we hope you. They say, war now was so. Nano, who ye any day, as what one want to move one. Oh, dear Quacusi, one can want some pimp, precope. What portray a D said they wouldn't even put, say, be you, if an LGBTQ plus was Rayana be found. Nekamia is so we are suspects, and see what say, why you dear found once I see.
We will pass this. We would submit it to the president, present it to him for his assent, and he can also, even in the course of the process, whether before it is passed or after it is passed, if he so thinks that he even needs to introduce some more robust legislation to serve the larger purpose of preserving the values of Ghana, preserving the values of society, and augmenting on the binary nature of gender, that gender, any person is born a boy or a girl, and that's when you are to marry. Marriage is between a man and a woman. Those basic principles, and any such propagation and advocacies and those that seek to even make lesbianism, LGBT, and all its allies and dimensions more attractive, totally misleading young people and leading them astray. Any legislation that will cure that is further welcomed, but that will not come to replace the importance and necessity of this bill. If the president was so committed to introducing government-sponsored bill, this is the 11th month. There have been many, leading to about 100 bills that have been brought to this house, and we have passed. Some were even brought in midnight. We stayed here midnight and passed them under certificate of urgency. So if this bill was that important to him, and indeed is not mere rhetorics, and it's something he's committed to, we would have introduced this government-sponsored bill. He has said it time and time again. Has he brought it? So let him bring it. But he bringing it, we will all support.
Mr. Amo Felix, our board member, the Land Commission for Eddie Atuja Wabra, one Ashanti Prime TV, yen central for money before Etchin Como. Now, what's rain, say, which rain, Sedia, or Munuma Etsie, Juma, one would do not componim, say a Land Commission for office, Wahini, and I said, dear imported pa, and a one ayen woman, Munone, Ashanti Prime. Edin common what in some say to ja, which Remu say a bear crampuno, ye higher who Obehuno, or ma or districts, one are not say, or my baby ho, and see what us are, oh, how home, go ye moon, fan some and crying Nick Massenia did Debbie, or Potter one, ye be important be one ma, or who waits in your high war.
We did the Amo Felix, board member, Ashanti Land Commission. I am a say, and you may Ashanti Prime, and then you drink como Abusa Media in Yakonya as a board member. To ya by ministry, the Abua, the Land Commission, Medina, abandoning some report, the kind of say, of so decentralizing a court district. We are who are in such a Democrat, between that region, in February, soon be. We anka apples for 30 working days, and at 3 months I was a Kubia Wayan Krata home, and I started 7 Krata Simbiano. I was in a second. Minister Nash, and a board knows who had the year you must say, and started 7 Krata Sim, Because approach one 30 working days I was in the panel as I can cut obi and lease when I let us be now obi busa say galamsey aba no chimu ko ayade a edi oba no ade ba ko ne say wo hwe nhihye ya aba dada hwe mu ni ye no a wo hwe airline mo e pass ya etimi ma nkofo bi kwa ya no mo timi ko nsuom ne kwaye mu koye ayi no ade bia ya mra ya passing through parliament no timi fada ko pe enyim free ho. It did not abandon one engagement with civil society and other organizations. But I say, when stakeholders didn't come out, we say, "Bet me up, boy, now yet me a yimran a flu or cry." No, say yimran a flu or be consumed. Quite more quiet. I'm saying, and no state of emergency. No, at it is said. Sabano what you want or yes, I don't know. Now, there's no stage that I say about parliament, not parliament either. I just to Obi Busa say. We have the government have the majority to pass the law, but the father will pay and pass him. The Ojidio Mampani John Dramani Mahama, and then in Penny for say, Sunday morning.
Akwafa womo ewa Ashanti Chrome dia to just say e gwanfo eje womo nsase ama wono mutumi nya asase pu no dia yafu kire se womo a esisi womo nti aban ni mremu na womo abambofo emra me investigate na kwan a womo nam kwambone so eje womo nsase afri womo nsem no ompe ho pomasibre
na aban investigation no investigate na yen a yen sase akodi kwanse nche kwanse di 51 years Ade no bebe ja asase a obi atra so 170 years oba beje na yen kotra he yesrem mo yan sanchirafo yenimu aduma pa amudi mo ma omampani asonte anye saa ebibi beba anhwe ni ane agokwatre kwa because unya bibi ndi nana bia kokwa wuram a wo yire ko wuram na se langa kota no anhwe ni abonitio wanhwe ni ya monte ya oblanga vuni bi ba chechewere oba ko bo ba ko tioku mu nsese ye bi ho ye pa mo chawo mo ma aban enti yan hawo fi se uba nsawa ma de gidi ayesu ano suhum upper west achim eye adesu in the west achim sa area he nsase won sem no eye hu madaroma mo ka bi mai ya da wasi
What the machines in my journey in my journey in Agu. I'm calling Papa B or so ye ni CID or your own national Jumanasu. We are Basha as soon as that be. I go away by no Nana no idea assassin my say I'm fine food. For my jury and no money in Agu. You can name mammy Nitiam for me cannot. For my jury, my assassin in no be friend. Bible beside the old church. Osi da bi assassin enye ye dia
sisi a we den na we didi
ayasam sisi a mu obanchi wo fom no okwa fom na omo pa ho se free of your omo mpa obi a wo assassin so nti sisi a ye ntimi
se dia kono ye timi ko fu ko fa duane ye timi ko fu e ko ye aduma e ko de ye se aban wo ho no hu se ya bo no ye na na bo no ene ai ho man pani dia once edumodi no nukare na no dey my comedy yai so na hwe asase kakraka yo ori GPS se wo be bi obeba be fa ya kodugu dia yo fa yemegu na yesu yenye free afa so wo be da na jo na galfo tu webro tu banchi bi ami kasa enani 3 days ko do mi banchi me bro nyina gu eni o kama fo bia ase so atu yan sorry am boy dia eni na yeso emna na ye di se se mama obi fa fort my yes so man peni be obi an sorry na ye pre watu nya sorry wo ye ho dia ye tiate o sorry no nti asase e maye ede na se so sorry so a na mi be hye ono wan sorry so a etuju na ngasa
e betume tisu no obi anya sika no wa se ya ban so na tisu ye mpese be gu na ni mase ese ye so sorry pere ye so ya sorry nti ye sra no se kwansi so wa be ya asase a aka odu ya aboam ene Paul Kroma ene ewe ya wu se asase ni udu bante siwa ebo se so bekwa afunu so watu nya na no me bro bi ama ya me kwa kobu ebro me kwa odi kwan atumu se hom ka prempo wa ma me bi misumi ni bia ire to na mo adi ma me abere wa wo ya da wa no do be ye 3 o'clock 2 o'clock na tip afu na mo yen kwan atu pe Nancy and papa be sa da one will do not if I free by be two not or short loss it out. What do you call hospital well? I was seeing Nancy. Mamma be the wall. I hear one a Casananua. Or not check a cramay, and I'm near 20. If you know about any come up to pay what to young in this car. Once in the assassin now. Me no was a sipa. I would die. Since the year and the was I want the anti only yet. The Ayabasa, the one strong, my young and the share before Fan Comala Tani Yakoto, then you send me that on number. Yes, send.
Mesama wakwa babim eba Ashanti Prime TV you menon so kase na musom fo migusu amede somwo ye to akase ne so de ane ye kwa kopiem okofo aman so Uganda wo ena wo mo electoral commission no e de atudwa e kire mu sesei no aberewa ayi puma wo kwemu amakwamu ada ho no mo asabre amene wo kase wo ma hye ato ho se 15th January no eye wo mo abato general elections na yankopon ya adoma ebekoso 15 January yankopo ya dom na Yesu maya etiye ko na hwede koso.
Uganda's Electoral Commission says the 15th of January has been set as the final date for the country's next general elections. 81-year-old President Yoweri Museveni, who's been in power since 1986, is seeking re-election in the polls. Now Africa's fourth longest ruling leader, his government has changed the constitution twice, removing age and term limits to allow him to seek further terms in office. The former rebel, Museveni has been credited with stabilizing Uganda, promoting economic growth and combating HIV/AIDS. But critics denounce his government's suppression of political opponents, human rights abuses and corruption scandals. Museveni's main contender is expected to be pop star turned politician Bobi Wine. Wine, whose real name is Robert Kyagulanyi, has capitalized on his singing fame to rally a large base of young voters.
Yeah, so Kasiebo no so ye fa mo nra gudie mu nsemu prekwen na sabre amene wo kasai koto nyankopo omudi siani eye enra e won cry kwasi ade ya itwamu ya won cry na omo coach ya wo ye assistant coach of Emma Wak of Morocco for Ibrahim Nakat enedi atudwa wo kire mu se Asante Kotoko ye eye eku anase team bia wo mo odru na wo mo ho odre wo Africa na sa bibrem ha pa wo mo ate wo mo nkanti wo mo ba na wo mo boa wo mo ho yie pa sanse omunim di Asante Kotoko itumi ye eno nam so ama wo ma ho boa wo mo ye no enam so ama wo ma to atene ba ko a sabre wo mo ahye go ma sha Asante Kotoko ba ko Asante Kotoko fo gu mo ani ma si o ti krom ama obi firi Morocco aba Ghana aba be hyew enya nim guase enti asemo a coach no e ka no se wo mo boa wo mo ho yie pa Asante Kotoko fo ade na mo de ma mo anim guase sei uko obi krom ne koye wo sa akenu e different na ati krom mo obi timi be hyew mo sa sutro de mo odzene de aye no na kyese beto Kasiebo ne so na yede wo akọ anigidie mu nsem so na anigidie mu nsem e na keche de obo alibutu gwi no ai wo de atu de kire mu se Daddy Lumba de be ma bia money ho modene se wontumi meye se Daddy Lumba ai bua to pasa utira ye pa ne se Daddy Lumba na we legend akadwuma pa ne hora ye be horo wo krom ha no ezi keche we ya lugu into gwi me da si jaza na wa say ono da so na brantie chese fefefa wa so poni be ma wa bo rasta so poni asi na pampam mu dwumo ho emrantie ane enti Ketiano no, be might be a friend when you said Daddy Lumba. I was let's not be like Daddy Lumba. I see. And my yenye. I said Daddy Lumba or you mass him too much. No cry back on Daddy Lumba. One joke with see crack. Said there was it 2 more door on your mo, eh? Bear money monyam for our bob brass say young career say you see what soon Jimono at. And I want more cheer basa poto, eka say, and Tibema bia de 1 we are so by dear Sumjie, a do wetty, so near Sumjie, and as a summer on 1 at Tonium, or so I on this about Begina Croti. I swear near that the Lumba be so sukoto moja. It says, oh, Jana fair cranny, but to say, would see a ye see a boo, ye boo. What I say? Ye boo pa, is it in pa? Sne ahunya enti mema monto to nyema ye brotherhood ye panim kwasebia this time no that the lumba wu so was set confusion wonachi basa ba wiase baje de bema e ma na ebeji bibi wo wiase na bema de asumudue ene wodo wo achi no ya na ye especially that the lumba somebody like that the lumba come on Sabre bejina we so na e de ne kase ne nyina ba wie ye na afutu akeche de ato dwai mema ne mo fa ne serious pa dindindin na mo ante sa mo wachi no mo bejina kroti se de ne da de lumba jina kwa kwantimfi oro a wotumi ko heaven o so wotumi ko bonsem chep e se wa council temu o sucha dadro ba bia wo bia na wo se fata e se usu Edikase ni nyina ba wiye Nyankopon ya adom kyena me producer cameraman Mr. Achim Yamisho me din gift ya bag na me na nwumre me je breaking kind kase ni mu nsem nyina e ma wo wa won so je brehwe bie no Yamisho pa nyame ya adom kyena
ASHANTI Prime TV. Aha, and no the wall.
Ebusia, nukura ehia puma ansa na wanante. Na se nukura togusu mpo a eyentro. Ensem pii ena etwagu ye monten so. Ye fiefiem, ye nwumam ene ye media ne so. Nanso asembisa ne se, emu de ehe ena ye nukure. Enu nti na ye mpese obi biara etum futrogu wani nti. ASHANTI Prime TV mpanyifo ye hyehye dwumade esronko a yato ne din se, nukure nsem mi opi amoako metina madi dwumade yi mu kyeame aha ene ka amanyosem